And good evening. It is Ryan Bellamore. I'm the owner and publisher of What's Up Newp. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my guilty pleasure, and it's not our guest. But on Monday night, every now and then the channel on the TV just happens to be on The Voice. And out of the corner of my ear, I hear Newport, Rhode Island. And it was Lucas O'Reilly who was on the blind auditions performing James Taylor's Carolina in My Mind. And Lucas joins us now. Hey, Lucas, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. And are you a fan? Do you normally watch the show?
So admittedly, my introduction to The Voice sort of started around the time that I went into the audition process. I had seen probably honestly back at season 1 or season 2, my mom and my sister would watch, and I sort of watched along with them, but that was a long time ago. I actually didn't watch any of it. I was kind of nervous to watch it. I watched my audition and I watched a lot of my friends through this season, but before and through the audition process, I was too nervous to sort of see what the potential final product would be. But yeah.
I'll probably get in trouble if I try to share the video on here because of YouTube and Facebook rules around the music. But if anybody wants to search for the video, the performance, it's Lucas O'Reilly performs James Taylor's Carolina in My Mind. I've embedded it on whatsupnewp.com. You can also find it on YouTube. And how long ago did that performance happen?
So I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to tell.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Let's not get anybody in trouble.
I don't know if they'll see this or not, but we filmed. I was in Los Angeles throughout June, and that's pretty much I think all I can say. But
okay, tell us about yourself. So I know your family. It's a Rhode Island thing.
Yeah.
But how long you've been playing music? How did you find yourself up on The Voice?
So I've been playing music for, probably since I was 6 years old. I'm 20 now. So, but it was sort of on and off. I was a guitar player and did, a couple different types of lessons and sort of stuck into this Suzuki guitar method, which they mentioned on the show. And that was with Joseph Smith, who's a Rhode Islander, and through my school as well. I went to the Meadowbrook Waldorf School in Richmond, Rhode Island for 1st through 6th grade, and that was really involved with music and with arts. So music's definitely been a part of my life for a long time, but I've only been singing since I was around 18. I mean, I sang a little bit before, but I've only been performing and singing since I was 18.
What was your goal going in on the show?
I think obviously the goal, for everybody is to win. Theoretically, I was really open to all outcomes. I was like I said, I've only been singing since I was 18. So it was kind of like, okay, now that I'm on this big stage and, you don't really know if you're going to perform, there are creative cuts that happen. So when you're there and you're doing it, everything is up in the air. I think my goal was to, be seen on a national stage, and despite the outcome of it, the audition still aired. So, I don't know if I had one specific goal though. I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And the audition did air, and you got some feedback from some of the judges, and what stood out from you there?
I actually, it's funny. I was telling my friends as I was watching it with them on Monday, I was seeing it for the first time with everybody because I was so nervous during the performance that I really truly I have memory blackout, and I had to kind of get the information out of my parents. I was like, wait, what did they say? I forget. I was sort of just standing there with them yeah, thank you. And but I got to, Ariana Grande said that she, enjoyed my voice and wanted to hear an album of mine. And despite, the pitch issues and stuff like John Legend mentioned, it was there. And like I said, I was nervous. So any feedback that you get to have from people like that, though, it's I've rewatched it and just sort of listened intently because it's very valuable, obviously.
When's the album come out then?
That's a good question. It's a hard thing to say. I have a lot of really unfinished stuff, and I've sort of for the past couple months been in this voice vortex, and I haven't been writing as much. And I do have one song on Spotify and streaming services, but I hopefully will have some music within the next 2 months, at least a single, an album. The goal would to be before the end of the year.
So, we have the original music. Obviously, you did a cover. Do you see yourself becoming a cover musician and playing out at the local bars and restaurants next summer?
So I think I think covers is where singers usually get the in, and like starting from your inspirations, and you sort of like anybody that's learning an instrument likes to start with learning their favorite songs, I'm sure. I enjoy playing covers a lot, but I really recently have been trying to be a little bit more, apply the pressure on myself to say, okay, like you have, a 3-hour set that you could play of covers, and probably about 15 or 20 minutes of that could be original. So I'm hopefully going to be playing original music. And as far as like covers in local bars, I've played at the Landing before. And I was that, but I don't know if I want to find a band and I want to play like original music that we or I write, and around Rhode Island, yes, of course, especially during the summer. And I think the goal would be to have a whole set of just my own music, though. Yeah.
There you go. And a lot of the musicians, I think it gets forgotten about. A lot of the musicians you see down at the Landing or anywhere in Newport, Rhode Island, they do a lot of covers. That's what gets them in the door. But I think of somebody like Justin Pomfret, who plays at the Landing a lot. He has a lot of his own original music and puts it in there as well. And I think one of the greatest compliments, and I'll get off my soapbox here in a minute, but is if you see a musician, and if they have original, ask them to play one of their originals, because it's pretty neat for them.
Oh yeah, I actually think I've only got that question once, like in that setting of performance, because when you perform, at a place like the Landing, if you perform anywhere, where there's a big bar scene, and I think recognizable songs are important, and covering songs as the minority is really cool too, to kind of just like bring out a recognizable song every once in a while. And I want to get to the point where I'm bringing out a cover instead of, bringing out an original song, as the novelty of the set. So,
and there's still plenty of great venues for original music. So, people get out there and support them, so that way they can support careers like yours.
Yeah.
Got to ask you, probably the question you've been asked, why did you choose Carolina in My Mind?
So the song choice, you kind of work, there's a process, with the show, choosing a song. James Taylor was like a staple in my house. Like just, my mom's such a huge James Taylor fan, my dad as well. So it's definitely like nostalgic to ever hear James. And that song in particular is really special to my mom and her side of the family. And I love to sing it, and it was easy to learn for the show and easy to practice because it was like already embedded, to a certain extent in my memory. And I think because, I have had the chance to meet James and play for James, and the show, they mentioned that on the show. I think they were like, it was very fitting to choose that.
Yes. And his deep ties to Rhode Island as well these days.
Yep.
I had to laugh. And I had to also stop the video on Monday when they showed your family photo a couple of times while you were playing. I know Sophie and Josephine, and just your family is so big, they don't have enough screens there at the Voice to fit them all in.
That room could have been filled up with 60 people.
That's it. So where can people follow you? How can people follow along in the future here to find out, what you're doing, when you're playing, when new music is coming out?
So I am on Instagram is sort of like the primary social hub for me. I have, Twitter, I have a Facebook that I never go on, and I have a TikTok for the younger generation. And I have a website as well, so that all that will be linked in my bio of my Instagram account. And if you just look up Lucas O'Reilly or Lucas C. O'Reilly, my website should pop up as singer-songwriter. And I'm available to play gigs. I'm available I like to do private stuff if people are doing private gigs, public stuff. And also I wanted to plug that if there's any musicians that want to play in Rhode Island. I'll be there for a couple months. So if you just reach out to me on Instagram, if you want to get together and play some gigs, and yeah, that's my plug.
And it may be too early to ask this, but you get a lot of feedback. Could you see yourself returning to the show again down the road?
That's definitely another question that people are asking, friends and family, and people that I was on the show with. I'm very grateful for my experience. It's surreal still to this day. And sort of like this week, this influx of messages from strangers and not strangers, and there's a whole lot of love. And it's a good feeling. I don't think I'll pursue the show next season. Honestly, it's not up to me. They have their casting process. Obviously, I have a foot in the door now. But in the future, it's a really nice thing to say, hey, if I still got some friends, in the casting department, I still have some friends that work on the show, maybe I'd want to go back. For now, I want to focus on making music, and getting out, my own album of my own music that I own, the masters to. So that's the goal for now, but maybe down the road.
Yeah, I think mom and dad might push you to try out Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, I'll do the whole show route. Yeah.
There you go. Again, you can watch the video. It's online. 198,000 views on YouTube. That's a whole lot of views.
I haven't checked that in a while. That's cool. That's cool.
Yes, and it's getting shared and picked up everywhere. And again, you can follow Lucas on Instagram, and all of his stuff is there. So we wish you the very best. Please let me know, as well as our team know, when you have music coming out, shows coming out. We like to include them in our live music listings.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan.
All right. We will talk to you soon. That is Lucas O'Reilly. Check out his performance of James Taylor's Carolina in My Mind. It was on The Voice blind auditions on Monday. It was live on Monday, and you can find it all over YouTube, as well as right on whatsupnewp.com right now. Thanks, Lucas, for joining us.